Hello, welcome to the Laptop YouTube channel. In the previous videos, we've gone to web development using Flask-python. I'll employ you to check the first, second, and third videos because this class is a continuation from where we stopped. In this particular class, we'll be discussing on integrating our backend with Postgres database. Then I'll be using the pgAdmin as my database engine. Our Flask application that we developed so far looks like this. This is our app code. It looks like this, in which we created different kinds of pages like this. Then we've also introduced ourselves to the redirect, vendor_template, and HTTP methods. Also static files in Flask-python. So before we continue this class, I will implore you to subscribe to this YouTube channel to get notifications on subsequent videos. So let's get started. I already have the pgAdmin installed on my computer. You might need to go through the installation if you don't have it installed and you want to practice this demonstration. This is my pgAdmin, which is installed on my computer. So if I open this pgAdmin, what we want to be discussing in this particular session is how we can integrate our backend code, this app, to the database engine. So this is needed if you want to create a storage system, if you have files that you want to store, or you have user informations you want to store inside the database. This is going to provide a relational database system which will be used to store information, and we also use it to display information for subsequent class. So let's get started. I have my database engine here. I'll put my password, which is admin. So I have a simple password that I created for this. So you might need to, let me put it again. Okay, so this is my database engine. This is my server engine. Then I have a database here, which I can work with. But I'll be creating a new database for this demonstration. So what exactly we want to do in this class is, for this demonstration, we could record in the second class that we created a particular, in the third class for this Flask tutorial, we created a page called register. In my application, which is running here, if I open it on my browser, that's /register, my applications for this page, the page looks like this. This is what we created in the third class, a register page. In this is needed for the user registration. We have the first name, last name, email, password, and sign up. So what exactly do you want to do is, like, you want to be able to store all this information, user information. If a user is going to log in into our system, then we want to store it inside the database engine. So for this, I'm going to create a database in this server. I'm just going to call it, let's say we are using it for a store, so I can call it my store. Is the name of my database. So I don't need to make any settings. I'm going to leave everything to default settings. Then you can see that I have a username for this database, for this server, which is Postgres. Then I'm going to save this using the default settings. So I'm not making any changes. I'm going to wait for it to save. So this is my database system, which I can see that it is connected. It's notifying me that it is connected. It is connected. Because we are using a relational database, you can get familiar with this pgAdmin. Your tables will, in a relational database, you always have tables, which can be found in the schemas in the pgAdmin. So these are my tables. I have no tables added yet, I'll be creating a table called registration, which will be used to store information here from here. So this is my table registration. So I'm just going to create it manually without using SQL code. So I don't want to use SQL command. I just want to create a simple tables. So for this field, I'm going to create columns. So I'm just going to create columns. The first column will be first name. Then I have to define the data class. So I'm just going to put this. Okay. Let me put character instead. So I can have, and I just give 50 to be the precise length. So this is first name. So I'm going to create another table, another column for last name. For last name. Then I'm going to select character. Do the same thing for email. Let me see this again. So everything perfectly. The length is 1. The length shouldn't be 1. Let me put it to be 50. So you can have length to be as much as 50. Then email. Then we have character also. This one, precise length. I'm going to say that 50. Then colon, password, precise length. I'm going to say that I'm going to select character for this also. Character. So precise length, I'm going to select 50. So I have my 4 columns in these tables. So if you view the tables, if you view all columns in the tables, all data record in tables, you found that there is no data record yet. The table is empty. It's very empty. So what you want to do is you want to write SQL command code that can connect, that can allow us to any information being put here, then we sign up. It's going to drop into stored inside our database system. So to get started, we'll be using the SQL Chami library. So I already have it installed, but if you want to go through the installation, just pip install SQL Chami. So this is the library. So I'll just say that from SQL Chami imports. So I'm going to import all functions from here. But if I want to be precise, I can simply import the functions I will need. The first function I will need for this is the function called create_engine. So I also need the metadata. So I will need these 2 functions for my SQL Chami. So I will need these 2 functions for my SQL Chami. Say no module SQL Chami found. So I think I misspell it. It's SQLAL Chami. So this is the name of the library. So I think everything is working fine now. So let's get started. How do we now connect to our database? That is the major concern here. So the major task is how we are going to connect to our database. So to connect to the database, you can create an engine, a database engine. So you say use the create. We first create the engine, create engine, that particular function that we've already import. Then we have to specify the link, a particular link that defines, there's a template format for that, which is going to identify the username, the name of the database, the name of the users within this pgAdmin system. So this is how it works. This is the name of the link. This is how the links works. PostgreSQL, then // Now we have to specify the username. My username is always post. The name of the username can be found here. If you want to specify the username, you can find it here. So this is the username, this username, Postgres. Then you have to specify the name of the username here, Postgres. Then the next thing you have to specify is your password. You have to specify your password here. So you can simply put your password as admin, then say that at the name of your password is admin. The name of my own password is admin. But we have set, why configuring this your pgAdmin system, you specify password. So if that is that password needed, why I'm configuring my pgAdmin, the name of my password, I set my password to be admin. So put your own password here, which could be anything aside from admin. Then you have to specify the host name. The host is localhost. So I'll say that localhost. Then you need to also specify the port, which is 5432. Then we have to specify the name of our database, which is my store. So the name of our database is my store. So once we save this, we won't get any response yet. Then we then try to connect this database system. So I'll say that I'll call it that dp equal to engine that I've created dot connect. Then once I update this, no changes yet. Okay. So the next thing is, let's assume that our connection is successful. Then the next thing should be how we can then obtain the tables, connect to the tables we've created from this database, my store. So to do that, use the metadata to connect to the tables. This metadata function that we import. So I can see that metadata is, we're also creating metadata from the metadata function. So this metadata function, this metadata function. So we'll first bind our connection with the DB. So after we bind our connection with the DB, then we use a particular function also called method also called reflect. So this way allows us to be able to obtain information from this my store, my metadata dot reflect. So from there, we can then access the table registration in which you've created. So I'm going to call this red table equal to metadata dot. So from this particular metadata, there are tables. So I'm going to have tables. So what exactly is tables we're interested into? The tables is called registration. Okay. So from our registration, What exactly do you want to do? We want to be able to insert. Let's say we are able to access the table now. What we want to do now to be able to insert this information into the tables, which is first name, last name, email, and password, and update our database engine. So I'm going to say that veg, okay, veg, okay. We have to create a command first. Command equal to veg table dot insert. So this insert method from the veg table can be used to add all these values into the tables. So dot insert, if you are specifying a particular column, then you have to specify the name of the column inside this as an argument inside this. But we are not doing that. What we want to do is to insert all, we are concerned with all the tables. So you just say that dot values, dot values. Then we need a list of what are the values. The first value is the first name, last name, email, then password. Okay, so we're able to insert this. These are command. Then we use our DB engine to execute the command. DB dot execute cmd. Then if you're able to do this, what next is we have to be able to close. It's always good to close our database using db.close. So let's assume everything works fine. Then we can go to the explanation again. Okay. We could record that this is a post function. Then once we submit our button here, all this command here will be executed. So I'm going to specify, first refresh this, then first specify my first name, Olanwaju, my last name, Faboyin, email, and password. So you can see this is our template we built. We already built this template in our database.html in the previous class. So let's try to check our table if everything works fine. So I'm going to refresh this. I refresh the database. I'm also going to come here to refresh the tables. Then let's view the tables, all rows. So you can see every information has been added into our database. Okay, so it will be nice to go through the explanation again. So the first thing we did is to import the SQL charming library. Then we use the create engine and the metadata function from this SQL charming. So the create engine is used to connect to our database system, which is from this which is provided from the pgAdmin software. The pgAdmin software provides a database engine. Then this is how we connect to it. We say that PostgreSQL SQL // just like we are creating a link. Then we specify our username, our password for the data for pgAdmin. Then I said at the host name, the port number, then the name of the database. Then we connect the database engine by saying that db equal to engine.connect. Then using the metadata, we're able to bind the db. Then we use the reflect keyword to be able to access information in the database. Then we're able to create tables, registration tables, connect the registration tables from here using the metadata. In the metadata, there is a particular method called tables, which allows us to connect to all tables. If I have some other tables, then I have to specify the name of the table here. The name of my table is registration. That's why I specify it here. Then we have command. We created a command from these tables. There is a particular method called insert. I said that we can insert for specific columns by creating a list here, then specify the specific column. But in this case, we are inserting for all columns. So that's why I didn't bother to specify the columns names here. So from this insert, then you can see that the values, include all the values there, then execute your command, then we close our database. We already built a template in our database.html in the previous class, which allows us to display all information being posted from the registration page. So everything is working fine. We could see we have something like this, in which I insert my first name, last name, email, password, and once I sign up, everything drop into the database. Because I do this again, then I should have another duplication of what I created before. So every time you want to view the database, you have to refresh it, then view it again. So we have to, because I just run post information inside the database again. So that's how we integrate database into Flask. So this is interesting because if you have a real database on your server, it's the same procedure. You specify the username, the password, the host name, the port number, then the name of your database. Then you connect to the database. Then you should be able to use Reflect to update everything and to be able to pull any kind of information from your tables. If I want to pull information from my tables, it's still almost the same process. So that is how everything is going to work in this particular session. I really appreciate you for watching these videos. In the next class, we are going to proceed and do a lot of important things using this database system. Thank you so much for watching.